Topic is soil formation, various factors of soil formation and processes of soil formation. What is soil formation? For a fertile soil to produce, it requires thousands of years to produce 1 kg soil. The soil formation is a process of two consecutive but overlapping stages. That is weathering of rocks, as it is very long process, and weathering of rock into regolith and formation of true soil from regolith is the main process of soil formation. As soil is a complex mixture of various components, its formation is also more complex, involving rocks first undergo weathering. It alters to regolith, that is known as the unconsolidated parent material. Then, by action of soil forming factors and processes, it further alters to true soil. It is overall process of development of soil formation. The formation of particular type of soil depends on physico-chemical properties, that is rock, that is pedogenesis of soil evolution. Formation is process by which soils are formed by weathering, that is disintegration and decomposition of rocks. Then origin of soil. All soils initially come from pre-existing rocks, that is called as a parent material, and rocks are made up of or aggregation of one or more minerals. Various processes, wind, water, or glaciers might have transported the soil to some other place from its origin. Then, in addition to soil parent material, origin of soil is also dependent upon prevailing processes affecting soil formation. The climatic conditions are important factors affecting both the form and rate of physical and chemical weathering. What do you mean by weathering? Weathering is disintegration and decomposition of rocks into minerals. Originally, rocks are composed of aggregation of one or more minerals. That is called as a parent material. Then, formation of soil can be seen as a combination of it is products of weathering, then structural development of soil, then products of differentiation of the structure into horizons, that is known as soil profiles or layers, and lastly its involvement or movement or translocation. These are basic soil formation process. Then various factors of soil formation. Pedogenic, that is known as the father of soil science, was the first person to show the soils usually form a pattern in the landscape, and soil is a function of PCLO, that is parent material, climate, and organism or biosphere. Further, Jenny altered this equation into soil is a function of CLORPT, means soil means any soil property, S means any soil property, CL means environmental climate, O means organism and vegetation, R means relief or topography, P means parent material, and T means time. These are various factors of soil formation. Some of may be active soil forming factors and some may be passive soil forming factors. The passive soil forming factors are parent material, then relief or topography, and third is the time. These are called as the passive soil forming factors. Then active soil forming factors that are climate and vegetation and biosphere. These are vegetation and organism, that is known as biosphere. So these are 5 factors of soil formations. Then time. Soil formation, as I mentioned previously, it takes several hundred thousands of years to undergo significant changes of weathering. Most topsoils of world have taken more than 10,000 years to form current state of soil, that is fertile soils. Then parent material. The parent material determines the mineralogical composition and widely distribute the chemical, physical characteristics of soil. It is the mass of unconsolidated rocks such as igneous, metamorphic, or sedimentary rocks. Then parent materials differs widely as the rocks of earth crust. The parent material transferred from their place of origin are named to the main forces responsible for transport and redeposition. Then there are some parent materials known as by deposition, transported by deposition by water is known as alluvium. Then column is poorly sorted materials near the base of strong slopes. Lacustrine consists of material that have settled out of white water of lakes, and glacial consists of all the materials picked up, mixed, and disintegrated into glacial ice. Then, as we seen, different places have different soils based upon the soil materials such as main area, peaty, marshy soils, organic deposits accordingly. Then the next factor is climate. Next factor is climate. Climate, especially precipitation, temperature, and frost action, have fundamental influence on soil formation processes that takes place within any given soil location. Prevailing climatic conditions highly determine the nature of weathering processes that will take place and the rates of physical chemical processes. Climate has direct effect on kind of vegetation in an area, which in turn affect soil formation processes related to root penetration and vegetation cover. The availability of moisture also has an influence on soil pH, decomposition of organic matter, accumulation and decay of organic matter, rainfall leaches away soluble materials and iron-rich materials from the upper soil horizon to the lower soil horizon, that is known as a zone of accumulation, that is known as elevation. Then topography and relief. Topography or relief sometimes are used as synonymous terms. Then they denote configuration of land surfaces. The relief units are geomorphically distinct areas. Relief may be described in terms of relative relief, drainage spacing, slope, and slope angle, whereas topography refers to differences in elevation of land surface on a broad scale. So the characteristics are altogether highly determine the types of soil found within a region or landscape. Then differences are primarily because of varying drainage conditions. The next factor is organism and vegetation. The soil and the organism living on it and on and in it comprise an ecosystem which includes active components of soil ecosystem are plants, animals, microorganisms, and man. The role of microorganisms in soil formation is related to humidification and mineralization of vegetation they bring about. Then microbial activities also decompose organic matter and recycle them in the soil. Larger animals, including burrowing animals and earthworms, make the soil and alter its physical characteristics. Man's activities have as well made tremendous changes to the natural soils. Then cultivation, construction, and addition of fertilizer, lime has altered physical and chemical properties of soil. That's then four soil forming processes. Now, factors of soil formations are over whether is active soil forming process and active soil forming processes and passive soil forming processes. Then soil forming processes. Fundamental soil forming processes are number one, that is additions of water, mostly as a rainfall, in organic and mineral matter to the soil. These are additions. Then second is losses of water, mostly rainfall water, organic and mineral matter of soil is another type of soil formation, fundamental soil forming process. Then transformations of mineral and organic substances within soil is another process. Then last one, that is translocation or movement of soil materials from one point to another within the soil, that is divided into movement of solution, that is leaching, and movement in suspension, that is elevation of clay, organic matter and hydrous oxide from upper soil horizon to the lower soil horizon, that is translocations. And this processes is one of more visibly noticeable one, as it shows alterations in color, texture and structure become apparent. Then transported material, as we discussed previously, colluvial by action of water, alluvial, then by action of glacial, then by wind evolene. Then seven mechanisms of soil formation: accumulation of materials such as organic matter and inorganic materials to new materials by force of ice or water. Then leaching and other losses. Leaching is removal of soluble components of the soil. As water washes down through the soil, it can carry balance in clay humus complexes. Through the movement of water, wind, ice, or uptake of accumulated materials by the plants. Then next is transformation and elevation. Transformation means here the soil particles in its suspension after the leaching, such as clay, are transformed after they accumulates. And transformation is a chemical weathering of silt, sand, and other formation of clay minerals, as well as change of organic materials into decay-resistant organic material. Then elevation. Here soil particles sent in suspension such as clay are accumulated, deposited from above soil horizon to the below soil horizon. Then elevation. Elevation means here is a translocation of iron and aluminum oxide which is removed from A horizon to B horizon is called as a elevation. The next process is podzolization and translocation. Podzolization, it is the process of soil formation resulting in the formation of podzol and podzolic soils. Is the negative podzolization is negative of calcification. Calcium process tends to accumulate concentrate calcium in the lower part of B horizon. aluminum and iron from complexes with organic substance in the soil. These materials are removed from the surface zone of the soils and can accumulate in distinct dark subsurface layers. According to aluminum, silica, and iron from complexes together with organic compound in the soil. These accumulations are translocated within the profile and are responsible for the reddish and brownish color of different soil. The next process is laterization. Laterization is the term laterite is derived from the word later meaning brick or tile, and was originally applied to group of high clay Indian soils, Malabar hills of Kerala, Tamil Nadu. Laterization is the process that removes silica instead of sesquioxides from the upper layers and thereby leaving sesquioxide to the concentrate in the soil. Soil is horizon A plus horizon B is known as a soil. That we learn in soil profile. Then calcification. Calcification is the process of precipitation and accumulation of calcium carbonate in the some part of profile. It may be called as a calcic horizon, and net result in deposition of the translocated contains in the B horizon. The next process is gleization or gleing. Gleization or gleing. The term gley is a Russian origin, which means blue clay or green clay. Gleization is the process of soil formation resulting in the development of gley or clay horizon in the lower part of soil profile above the parent material due to poor drainage condition, that is lack of oxygen. Such soils are termed as hydromorphic soils. Then weathering processes. Formation of soil is weathering. There are two main categories of weathering, both having different effects. That is freezing, physical weathering, chemical weathering. Physical weathering includes freezing and thawing, heating and cooling, wetting and drying, grinding and rubbing, and unloading. Then chemical weathering includes solution, hydrolysis, carbonation, hydration, oxidation, and reduction. These are the processes of chemical weathering, which disintegrate or decompose rocks into minerals or parent material, unconsolidated parent material. The topographic controls. Soil formation on a flat, almost flat position, undulating topography in depression and exposure or aspect. Then precipitation. As the precipitation is the most important factor among the climatic factors. As water fluctuates and moves from one part to another, parent material to the another, it carries with it substances in solution. So it is involved in accumulation of soil matrix. These are various processes of soil formation and factors of soil formation. With this, the topic soil forming factors and soil forming processes are over. Thank you very much. We will see in the next topic, that next video.